I swear we didn't mean it. Please don't.
Four friends, one dark secret, and a hook-handed killer who knows exactly what they did last summer. Released in 1997, I Know What You Did Last Summer rode the wave of post-Scream slashers, turning teen horror into a cultural phenomenon. But what most people don't realize is that the story behind the movie, from its origins to its shocking behind-the-scenes events, is almost as twisted as the movie itself. Today, we're counting down 25 scary facts you didn't know about I Know What You Did Last Summer. Fact 1. It was written before Scream. Most people think I Know What You Did Last Summer was copying Scream, but the truth is, the script was written first. Kevin Williamson actually wrote it in 1994, 2 years before Scream. Hollywood passed on it at first, but after Scream became a hit, studios were suddenly desperate for his next slasher. Fact 2. It's based on a 1973 young adult novel. The movie is loosely based on Lois Duncan's young adult novel. But here's the twist. The book wasn't really horror. It was more of a mystery thriller with no hook-wielding killer. Duncan herself was horrified by the slasher adaptation, calling it a complete travesty. Fact 3. The author's daughter was murdered in real life. Here's where it gets chilling. Lois Duncan's own daughter was murdered in 1989, a crime that was never solved. Duncan admitted she couldn't even bring herself to watch the film because the subject of young people being stalked by a killer was too close to her personal tragedy. Fact 4. Jennifer Love Hewitt wasn't the first choice. Before Hewitt landed the role of Julie James, Melissa Joan Hart, Sabrina, the Teenage Witch, was offered the part. She turned it down, saying the script was just another horror movie. Imagine Sabrina running from the fisherman. Fact 5. Reese Witherspoon almost starred too. Reese Witherspoon auditioned for the role of Helen, but instead encouraged her then-boyfriend Ryan Philippe to audition. He won the role of Barry, so in a way, Reese indirectly shaped the cast. Fact 6. Sarah Michelle Gellar almost played Julie. Before being cast as Helen Shivers, Sarah Michelle Gellar auditioned for Julie. But the producers thought her energy fit Helen's character better, and she agreed. It was a smart move. Her chase sequence is still the film's most iconic moment. But stick around for fact number 10, because her chase scene nearly killed her, literally. Fact 7. Freddie Prinze Jr. nearly lost his role. Freddie Prinze Jr. auditioned multiple times, but producers thought he looked too soft to play Ray. It was only after director Jim Gillespie pushed for him that he got the role. Ironically, his softer look made Ray stand out against the more aggressive Barry. Fact 8. Real fishermen were hired for accuracy. To make the fisherman character feel authentic, the costume and props department actually studied real fishing gear and spoke with fishermen from North Carolina. That iconic slicker and hook weren't just for style. They were rooted in the real fishing culture of the area. Fact 9. The opening pageant was shot in a real town festival. The beauty pageant where Helen wins was filmed during an actual town parade in Southport, North Carolina. Locals served as extras, and the filmmakers used the real festival atmosphere to make it feel authentic. Fact 10. Sarah Michelle Gellar's chase scene was dangerous. The infamous chase through the alley and department store wasn't just grueling, it was dangerous. Gellar did many of her own stunts, sprinting through narrow spaces and even crashing into doors. Crew members later admitted they feared she'd seriously injure herself. Fact 11. The movie was shot almost entirely at night. Because the film relied so heavily on shadows, most scenes were filmed overnight. The cast later joked that their sleep schedules were destroyed, and they basically lived like nocturnal creatures for weeks. Fact 12. The cast partied together off-set. Despite the dark subject matter, the young cast bonded off-set. They spent nights hanging out at local restaurants and playing pranks on each other, creating the real chemistry you see on screen. Fact 13. A major death scene was cut. Early drafts included a graphic death for Elsa, Helen's sister. In one version, she was decapitated. The studio forced the filmmakers to tone it down, fearing it was too brutal for a teen audience. Fact 14. The fisherman wasn't always the killer. In some early drafts, the killer wasn't Ben Willis, the fisherman. Instead, there was a twist that a completely different character was behind the murders. Test audiences hated it, and the script was rewritten to make the fisherman the main villain. Fact 15. The hook had to be filed down for safety. The iconic hook wasn't sharp during filming. For safety, it was filed down and blunted. But in close-ups, the crew swapped in a sharpened version for realism. And wait until fact number 20, because one stunt with that hook went horribly wrong. Fact 16. The sound of the hook was real. That chilling metallic scraping sound, the fisherman dragging his hook along walls and cars, wasn't just some stock sound effect. The sound team recorded real hooks and knives scraping against different surfaces: car metal, wooden docks, concrete, and even glass. They then layered the sounds to create an almost inhuman shriek of metal. Sarah Michelle Gellar admitted in an interview that hearing the hook dragged across the floor during filming gave her goosebumps every time, and even the crew found it unbearable. Fact 17. It was filmed on a very low budget. Despite being backed by Columbia Pictures, the movie only had a budget of around $17 million, which was modest compared to blockbusters of the era. To save money, most of the film was shot on location in Southport, North Carolina, with very few sets built from scratch. Fact 18. The cast didn't know who the killer was at first. Here's a neat trick the filmmakers used to keep the cast genuinely tense. For the first several weeks, they didn't reveal to the young actors who the killer really was. Jim Gillespie wanted their paranoia to feel authentic. So when the characters in the film begin to suspect one another, that confusion mirrored the cast's real uncertainty. Jennifer Love Hewitt even said she didn't know for sure whether her love interest Ray was the killer until late into filming. That genuine mistrust gave the film an edge of realism you can still feel today. Fact 19. The body in the trunk scene was rewritten. The original trunk scene didn't have crabs, just a body. But Kevin Williamson suggested making it more grotesque by filling it with writhing sea crabs, turning it into one of the film's most iconic shocks. Fact 20. The hook almost injured a crew member. One of the stunt hooks was accidentally left sharpened during a rehearsal scene. While filming a chase sequence, the hook swung too close to a camera operator and grazed his arm. Thankfully, he wasn't badly hurt, but the incident terrified the crew. After that, the prop department painted all sharp hooks bright orange between takes, just to ensure no mix-ups. Ironically, that brush with danger added to the crew's sense that the fisherman's hook was more than just a prop. Fact 21. The ending was originally darker. The film's ending, with Julie attacked in the shower by a hook bursting through the glass, wasn't the original plan. Early drafts had Julie actually killed in that final scene. Test audiences hated it. They didn't want their heroine to die after everything she went through. So the filmmakers rewrote the ending to keep her alive, but leave a terrifying cliffhanger instead. Fact 22. It was a summer blockbuster horror film. Unlike most slashers released in October, I Know What You Did last summer hit theaters in October, but was marketed as a summer horror event. The beachside setting and July 4th theme gave it a unique seasonal vibe. Fact 23. The movie sparked a lawsuit. Lois Duncan, the author of the book, was so unhappy with the adaptation that she publicly criticized it and later considered legal action. She felt the slasher tone completely betrayed the spirit of her original story. Fact 24. It made over $125 million worldwide. Despite mixed reviews from critics, the movie was a massive box office success. With its $17 million budget, it raked in more than $125 million worldwide. It became one of the most profitable horror films of the 90s and launched an entire franchise, including sequels, a 2021 TV reboot, and countless parodies. Alongside Scream, it proved that slashers weren't dead. They were evolving for a new generation. Fact 25. A real-life murder was once linked to the film. Here's the darkest fact of all. In 2004, a man in England murdered his roommate with a hook and claimed he was inspired by I Know What You Did last summer. The case was widely reported, with tabloids dubbing him the Fisherman Killer. While the film can't be blamed for real violence, it shows just how deeply it sank into pop culture and into people's nightmares. And there you have it, 25 scary and weird facts you didn't know about I Know What You Did last summer. Which fact creeped you out the most? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Hit that like button if you'd survived the fisherman, and subscribe for more deep dives into horror's darkest secrets.